At this point, Flutter Flow can be the best and the worst tool that can deliver amazing results super fast or suck up all of your time and energy. Well, it all depends on whether you know its hidden tips and tricks and nuances or not. So, I published this video about Flutter Flow pro tips a few months ago and
wow,
you guys really seem to enjoy it. And that's why I got you 5 more pro tips, and trust me, you've never heard of some of those. Because I came up with these after dozens of Flutter and Flutter Flow projects in the last few years. So let's get started. Do not do this or this just because you have to build an admin panel or you're just feeling lazy.
I'll allow it.
With some reverse engineering, which is not really that hard, any funny guy can get access to all of your data and delete them or sell them. Instead, lock down all data as much as possible. Almost everything should be tagged user, and just certain collections like post or other kinds of public collection can be open for authenticated users to read. You might say, but I want to build an admin panel. I have to open up everything to authenticated users. Well, that's where you're wrong. There's a much better way. You can choose only certain email addresses, i.e. the admins, on your system to have full access to everything. Here is how you can do that. Open the Firebase project, go to Firestore database and open rules. See this bit? Copy and paste it and replace it with your own email or any other admin's email. And as easy as that, you can allow admins to use your app without breaking any rules. This tip can save you weeks or even months of work. Don't just jump on Supabase because everyone claims it's the better option compared to Firebase and Firestore. While Postgres database is indeed superior to Firestore's document-based system in many cases, this advantage does not translate well when using FlutterFlow. FlutterFlow is built to work seamlessly with Firebase and Firestore. These integrations are more tested, more reliable, and easier to implement. While some issues like Apple login not being supported on Supabase and FlutterFlow have been fixed, Supabase's implementation often lags behind Firebase. And that results in you creating a lot more custom actions to achieve the same basic functionalities. The opposite can be also true. If your app is too complicated for Firestore, you just end up rebuilding everything and losing a lot of time and money. But for most projects, sticking with Firebase for authentication and Firestore for your database is the smartest choice. However, if you're working on a larger project with resources and time to spare, you could consider a hybrid approach, using Firebase for authentication and Supabase as your Postgres database. And you'll need an API between your FlutterFlow app and your database. Leverage max width constants for big screens. With FlutterFlow, it's almost too easy to deploy to web. It's literally a click of a button. But you don't want your app to look like this. Making your apps responsive might sound a bit intimidating. But there is a super easy way to make your app appear 1,000 times better on a wide or big screen. First, create a constant and set it to 600, 500, whatever. Next, find the root widget of your page, wrap it in a container and set its max width to 600 or 700 so it shows up right on the UI builder. Then finally pull the actual size from the constants and boom, instant responsiveness. Why use a constant, you might ask? I once joined this massive project that already had this approach for implementing responsiveness. One day, the client decided,
ooh, that's kind of small.
Let's make the app wider on desktop. Sounds simple. No. The app already had max width set on all pages, but it wasn't using the constants. And honestly, it wasn't their fault. Back then, FlutterFlow didn't even support this. But without constants, every single page had to be updated manually. Hundreds of pages, hours of work. It felt like a lifetime. And still, for like a month, we'd find random components here and there that needed to be widened again. Things like constants, action blocks, and components make your app a lot more scalable. Tip number 4. Log everything like a pro. For no-coders, this is the ultimate debugging hack, logging everything with constants, snack bars, and action blocks. First step is to create a constant called isDebug. and it's obviously a boolean. Now we are going to create a new custom action, name it print. We're just going to print the message into the console. Now I'm actually going to write some code on an iPad. So write print and then the message. We are done here, click save. Now create a new action block. It starts with a conditional. If isDebug is true, then we wanna show a snack bar. We must get the message as a parameter on the action block and pass this message into snack bar message. Next, we are going to use our custom action, which is to print the message into the console. Search for print and pass the message parameter. Okay, we are done over here. There's another approach that we can take is to put the isDebug variable into an app state instead of a constant. This way, we can change it while the app is running on an actual device. So head to app state and create a new variable, name it isDebug var. And it's a boolean again, click save. And then find something that users normally don't click. For example, over here, the icon, I'm going to add an action flow on the long press of this icon. And I'm just gonna toggle the value of isDebug variable. And over here, instead of isDebug from constant, we are going to use isDebug variable from the app state. And just like that, anywhere you wanna log something, you can just call this action block and print a message. The last tip is about planning for the future. But do you know what else is planning for the future? Leaving a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. So I know you wanna see more videos like this in the future. Here's a lesson you don't want to learn the hard way. Breaking changes will always happen. You might want to push a hotfix that absolutely everyone needs to get. Implement an update checker from day one. This will ensure that if you ever need to force an update to everyone, you'll be ready. First step is to head to your settings and open up Firebase. Over here, create two new variables. One is minimum version, the type is integer, and the default is like 0. The next variable is going to be force update, which is going to be a boolean. This will define if the user must update or it's an optional update. And add a new constant, name it version, so we know the current version of the app. It can be any kind of versioning you want. You can start from 1 or start from 100. It doesn't really matter. Next, we want to create an action block. Name it update checker. We're going to run this on the main pages. Just like the previous tip, it starts with a conditional. If the current version is less than the minimum version on the remote config, we want to check if it's a forced update or not. If it's not a forced update, we simply show a dialog informing the user about a new update. And if they confirm it, we are going to launch a URL. The URL is going to be conditional based on the platform. So if it's web, we relaunch the app again, so it fetches the new update. And if it's iOS, open up App Store, and if it's Android, open up Google Play. Now what should we do if the update is forced? We have to create a new page, name it update. Over here, we are just going to show a button that will navigate the user to the update page. We're just going to copy the launch action and paste it into the action flow of the update button. Now we head back to the action block, and if the update is forced, we navigate to update page and disable allow back navigation. And there you have it, 5 essential tips to level up your Flutter Flow skills and to brag about in front of your fellow app builders. These tricks might seem a bit small, but as soon as you start using them, you'll notice the improvements in your work. Got your own tips and challenges? Drop them in the comments and who knows, they might get featured in the next video. See you in the next one.